Welcome, guys. Hope you guys are doing awesome, and thank you for tuning in for our very special part 2 of the Pantheon Rise of the Fallen dev stream. Today we're going to be joined by the team, as usual. We got an all-star cast from Visionary Realms that are going to be helping us out with this today. And really, I don't have too much to say before we get in. Now, there is going to be one little difference this time. It's going to be important to point out. The last couple streams, we've been taking questions throughout the entire stream. However, this time, we're in an area that's a little bit more difficult than normal. We're actually in a dungeon. We had to actually level up our characters to be here. So, on that note, it is going to be questions we're going to be taking kind of at stages throughout the playthrough today, most importantly prompted by the devs. So really, without further delay, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Mr. Brad, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. Thanks a lot again, as always, Co, for having us on your show. We definitely appreciate it. Hey everybody, this is Brad Eridu McQuaid. I'm the Chief Creative Officer and Executive Producer here. Hey, welcome to our second stream in a matter of days. We're very excited to show you even more Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Today we'll be exploring the Tower of the Reckless Magician. But before moving on, we wanted to send a quick shout out to community member Caiaphas, who has recently undergone some critical surgery and is recovering well. So I want to say our thoughts and our prayers are with you and your family big time. And with that, I'd like to introduce Benjamin Dean, our Director of Communications.
Hey guys, Benjamin Dean here, Director of Communications. Thanks, Brad, for the introduction. I'll be your tank today, tanking as Mikhail. And I don't have too much else to say, so I'm going to pass it over to Zinx, our VIP planner.
Hey guys, it's Sierra Rush here. I am your VIP planner, known as Zinx in-game. I'll be playing a gnome wizard. One of the things that I got asked a lot last week is who am I and what am I doing and why am I asking questions? Basically, I am in the official VIP channel, which if you pledge to a certain level, you get access to. And I take questions from there, and I work with the devs to make sure that we are communicating effectively with our VIPs, as well as just kind of, enhancing their experience. So to all of our VIPs, I just want to say hello. That's why I'm here. And I'm going to pass it on to Ben Kilson-Walters. You want to take it away, Ben?
Hey guys, my name is Ben Kilson-Walters, and I'm the Community Web Manager for Visionary Realms and Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and today I will be playing my sneaky rogue again. And I will pass it on to Chris Joffa Perkins to round it up.
Hey everybody, it's exciting to be back again. This is Chris Perkins, or Joppa, and can't wait to run through this with you guys today.
Awesome. Hey guys, real quick before we dive in, the VIP program that Sierra was talking about, is that something that people can still sign up for?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in the VIP program or any one of our pledges, we've got tons available, and all sorts of goodies come with it as well. You can check it out at pantheonmmo.com/join.
Awesome. Great.
Ready to get this rolling?
I think
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
So, where exactly are we?
Well, we are in the Tower of the Reckless Magician. If you saw our last stream, you remember at the end we had that shot of the tower in the distance. This is the tower. If we want to stop here actually before we attack and just look out over the edge, all the way on the other side of this zone is kind of where we were. So you'll notice we're quite a ways up here in the tower itself, about halfway to the summit.
How good is Co's safe fall right now, do you think?
I mean, I could test.
We could always test.
You could always test. Volunteer.
Can I actually jump over this?
I think we should.
Oh, okay, well, that answers that. Oh, my Lord. Woo! It worked! Uh-oh. Now,
well, that wasn't scripted.
I don't suppose any of you have a...
In rehearsal.
I love this off script.
Okay, there we go.
Within 2 minutes of the stream, we're off script. I love it.
So for those of you, I'm sure, that are super concerned right now that you could be able to fall this distance and not die, assure you, as safe fall is more dialed in, you will not be able to survive this distance. Just like I didn't just then.
Or kill some.
And you're
There was
freaking
some
your wolf
corpse
out too there, Chris.
and-
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Co, if you want to, we've
Your
got a
wolf's
lot to get
do I
through.
follow?
She's loyal to a
Three
fault.
hours later, and
How
we're still
loyal-
jumping
how
off the
loyal is
ledge.
that wolf?
So we've got a bit to get through today. So, Co, if you don't mind starting to pull, and Chris is going to talk to us, just clarifying some things from the last stream on Thursday.
Great.
Yeah, so again, guys, I'm Chris, creative director and lead game designer for Pantheon, and I just want to take about 5 or 10 minutes here at the beginning. Some great questions during the last stream, and just want to make sure that they're clarified as to our stance on some of these things. The first thing I want to talk about is this issue of buff scaling and item scaling. You didn't wait till I got back up from my fall.
Love
We're
not
a
getting
very
to
busy
heal.
group.
Yeah.
One of the things that we felt like people were voicing most loudly after the last stream is really wanting some clarification on what was said during the stream about buff scaling and item scaling on lower level players. And so to clarify, this is not something that we are going to be addressing artificially. And what I mean by that is you're not going to equip a lower level player. A level 1 player isn't going to equip a level 3 sword and just see the stats magically degrade. Or a buff is not going to land on a level 1 player and magically give them less strength or stamina or whatever it is. That being said, we need to actually buff up too, guys. I don't know if we've done that yet.
Yeah, do you guys want me to hold
I
pulls
did,
for a sec, or
but,
just
you
go ahead and
know.
keep pulling?
Let's just hold for a few seconds. Let me get some
Got it.
buffs out.
Give me your shiny breeze.
Buffs are actually very important in this game. You can tell a huge difference when players are buffed and not. So just to give an example of how we are planning to address this, if a level 1 player equips a level 40 sword, the player's level and skill is naturally going to play a role in how much damage you're able to do with that weapon. Just trying to navigate my spellbook here. With that weapon. So if a level 1 equips a level 40 sword with a damage range of 1 to 20, let's say, the one-handed sword skill of that level 1 player is very low. And so while equipping that sword, they would still see that 1 to 20 damage range, and that would still be available to them. Since their weapon skill is very low, it's not likely that they're going to see a max damage hit for 20 damage with that weapon. And it works the same with buffs. Let's say a level 40 shaman comes by and buffs the same level 1 player with their strength buff. They're still going to get the full amount of strength that buff gives. But again, because their weapon skill is that low, they may, with that buff, be able to hit the max damage of the weapon. They may be able at that point to start hitting for 20 damage. But again, their weapon skill is going to be what governs ultimately the amount they're able to do. So you take that same level 40 sword, put it in the hands of a level 40 player, and that same sword, stats aren't going to change artificially. But of course, that same sword is going to be much more punishing. Our hope is just to handle this much more organically. We understand there's a lot of magic being to twink, to not overly restrict.
Chris, we're sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
We're losing your audio a little bit. I'm
I
not
think there's
sure
some
if it's
auto
the game
volume
audio.
adjustment going on.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try to turn my game audio down.
But we got most of it.
Is there anything that would be good for me to re-articulate?
I think we lost the last part of what you said regarding buffs being the same kind of level, but that your skills will not be the max. So there will be a sort of disparity still. If that makes sense.
Right. So
Kind of that section of what we lost.
Real quick, are we ready to pull this next area?
Yeah.
let's do it.
There's going to
Yeah,
be a
let
few.
me say a few things here too about this poll. We need to make sure all of us are standing pretty far back, and these initiates are also alarmists, just like the soldiers we saw in South Sail. So just be mindful, and we may need to actually root pull these guys. if we can't break it. The alarmist disposition, they're going to run and try to get friends if you aggro them, but if you're able to incapacitate them for 8 seconds, after 8 seconds, if they're rooted, if they're incapacitated, if you're able to do that for at least 8 seconds, it can break their alarmist routine, and they won't try to get help. So we may need to see if we can do that on these guys, depending on...
Oh.
Yep, see, there he goes.
Oh, I think he's resetting. Okay. Oh, here we go. I
Nice.
think it's just one.
Nice.
A couple of the others went off the left side there, but I think we're good.
Yep, we just got the one.
Yep, we're
stuff.
good. Perfect.
I was so scared. Decided suicide was a better option. Not to mess with this elite group.
I think you just keep liking to jump off the edge here. Tested your safe fall. Is it not high enough yet?
Not yet.
So was there anything else, Chris, from
Yes,
Thursday's
for
stream?
sure. So just to finish that line of thinking, if the buff lands, if a level 40 shaman strength buff lands, that level 1 is going to probably be able to hit for that max damage amount of the weapon now with the additional strength. But again, the weapon skill will continue to play a significant role in how much damage you're ultimately able to do because your weapon skill is so low. Take the same sword, put it in the hands of a level 40 with level 40 weapon skill, and that same sword is going to be much more punishing.
Rooting the sentinel.
Great.
Got him locked down at the back.
Burning down the initiate.
Now, in addition to that, one of the follow-up questions is something like, what about procs? What about clickies? We are very much okay with having required levels for procs or clickies. So it won't be that, a level 1 is able to pick up a level 40 sword with a level 30 proc. You may have to be level 30 to use the proc or use the clicky. Got him on me.
Smoke's failing.
It's okay, we can go ahead and engage now. And then last thing on that note is warn effects. Things like an item's innate haste or innate regen. We don't have any plans right now to restrict that based on level. A few more just quick points of clarification from last stream. Another thing we saw pretty consistently was from certain people, I wouldn't say consistently, but there are some who would say, hey, combat seems to be a little bit static, or put positively, would love to see combat look a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more engaging. So the answer to that is we do too. What I wanted these streams to convey more than anything with our combat was how the solid, polished combat foundation that we have. It's imperative that our combat foundation is solid and coherent so that we can start building up on top of it. And that's absolutely the plan. As production continues, you're going to see us building on this foundation. Combat's going to be growing more and more dynamic as we move forward. And just some ideas of what I mean there and what you might see. Feel free to interrupt me at any point if you guys, as soon as I'm done with these clarifications, be zoned in with you here. But some things you'll see as combat evolves into something more dynamic.
Nice.
Special abilities for NPCs. NPCs are going to have special ability sets. Right now, NPCs are operating in a pretty straightforward manner. But we're going to start seeing a lot more variety in what NPCs are able to do. Things like, NPCs having some smart healing, not only the healing abilities, but the intelligence with which they use those healing abilities. We're going to see ranged NPCs using cover to their advantage. We're going to see NPCs with cleave attacks, knockbacks, knockdowns, charms. We're going to start seeing a lot of that layered in. In addition to that, we're going to introduce what we're calling ambient mobs. And so in this environment, for example, these balconies could have a battalion of archers on them that, every so often, maybe with a shout, release a volley of arrows that we either need to find a way to pick those guys off or we need to take cover when those arrows come. And also more unique NPC dispositions. We've been showing a little bit of the alarmist, but you can, in the not so distant future, we're going to see things like the pyrophobic disposition, the predator disposition, the sniper disposition, continuing to layer more and more unique behaviors into the NPCs that players will need to learn and adapt to. The third clarification on our death system, I stated in the last stream that currently when you die, you respawn at the zone endpoint of the zone, and that's the case simply to expedite testing. Ultimately, the plan will be that players, when they die, will respawn at their place where they've found themselves, not on the zone endpoint. So just want to quickly clarify that. Number 4, the climate and acclimation system. Lots of awesome feedback on that system. Some great ideas out there. We love reading those. But I just want to say very generally, Pantheon is we're still in development. And so a lot of the systems and mechanics you're seeing are still in process. They're early in process, and they're going to change, they're going to improve as we move forward. That being said, the acclimation system, again, is very foundational. And so just to say, the infusions that we showed off, these infusions, the role they play is still under consideration. Ultimately, you can expect to see several different factors playing a role in your overall acclimation score. It's not going to ultimately be just one infusion per slot, and once you're fully filled out in your slots, you're done. You don't need to think about it anymore. There will be several other factors that play a role into, quote unquote, maxing out your acclimation score, and some of those will have some upkeep associated with them. And then finally, number 5, just to reiterate again, our combat, our locomotion animations, they're still being dialed in, still being improved, and will continue to be between now and launch. And that's my spiel.
So if you wanted to get some of the context as to some of the stuff that Chris has been talking about, we do have an archive of the stream that we did on Thursday. Co has it on his channel too, but if we have it on ours at YouTube, on the Pantheon MMO channel on YouTube.
Can you get a second, Chris? Can I get your regen?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Yes, you can.
So how's that room looking up there, Co? Are there many more? Or?
We're pretty much clear on this one, unless there's a roamer behind this pillar. Yeah, there's a couple on this bridge up here, but I think we can move into this room.
Okay.
How are the respawns here? Do we need to be pulling back to the end of the bridge, or can we move up?
I think we can move up.
Okay.
After these two, let's take a short break and maybe take some questions if you're down for
Great,
that.
absolutely. Yeah, if you guys want to stand back about where I am here, I'll pull them right around this side. Hopefully they won't prox you. Let me see here. There we go. Okay, gonna pull them right here and FD.
Might be too close.
Oh, okay. Or not. The fail.
Okay, that failed.
Oh,
Oh,
one second. Oh, and we're down.
time to start writing your obituary there.
That
Gotta
failed.
try
It
and
was nice
save you, but
knowing
you're
you.
Hey, nice
too far
split,
going,
Co.
man.
Hey, yeah, there we go.
Next
Good.
time.
Better. My death is
Let's tag him.
meaningful.
Tag
Yay.
Yeah.
I should release, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and
great.
release.
Yeah, you could
Oh.
actually probably make it back to us on foot.
Oh,
at this
yeah, there we
point.
go. Perfect.
Once we get a little further in, we'll have to rely on the revive.
And so, just to be clear, if this was live in X months, when I just hit revive there, I would not have popped up where I did, right?
That's right. You would have popped
Okay.
up wherever you were bound, and that could be across the world.
Okay. Oh, I love that take all. Oh, that is nice. I will never forget frantically right-clicking every slot back in the day. I think we have one more static after this, and then we should be good.
Cool.
Nice route.
All right, after this next pull, assuming it goes well, I'll have a couple quick questions for you guys. And the first couple questions I'm going to ask are actually from the last stream. I had some people ask me some stuff after the stream that I thought were great questions. So we're going to cover those real fast. This guy's a single. Should be good. All right. So the first question I got asked is a lot of times in games like this, obviously since there's not a lot of quests, you can kind of set up in a location and grind. And sometimes in those locations, you don't get a rare spawn or you aren't in a position where you can get like a lot of rare spawn loot. So one of the things that our kind of old games had a lot of is sometimes you'd have a very rare chance of getting decent loot off of very common enemies. Is that something we're going to see in this game? And is that something where we can expect like all commons to have some kind of rare drop, or is it going to be rare or even there?
That's a great question, and totally understand where that's coming from. The answer right now, the best answer I could give is yes, but with a few caveats. I don't like the idea of being able to get some super rare, powerful, magical staff, let's say, off of a field rat. But what you will most likely see is a small chance for valuable, rare, if you will, items to drop that are more area specific, lore specific, zone specific, and creature specific. It could be that there's some kind of really rare material, maybe, that something like a field rat might drop, as opposed to, some crazy, sword. Whereas if you're fighting, just bandits or something, that it could be likely that you get something a little more weaponry or equipment related. But that's the main thing is, yes, I want you to always have that sense that you could get something exciting, something valuable, something rare, but it's not going to be just brute world loot table. It's going to be something a little bit more specific to the zone and to the entity you're fighting.
Awesome. Great. Okay, 1 second here. We're going to have a multiple pool. Should be fine where you guys are. We'll see if we can grab this. And the next question that I had real quick is, we're splitting this up. And this may be as simple as a yes or no, but in some of the older MMOs, and this has almost completely disappeared from the current day MMOs, if you went up to an NPC vendor, you could sell them an item, and then another player could come along and potentially not only see that item that you sold them, but then buy it off that NPC vendor. Okay, we are... I failed again.
Help.
Okay, converting one of them. Left one, well, it would have been, but it got resisted.
Here I go.
It's the thought that counts.
I'm going to hold that question for a sec while we set up.
Yep.
Okay.
That back one's missed. I'll keep him locked down.
Yep, but...
Oh, no.
Oh, I think Eridude's off taking.
Yeah, he...
Leave the back one. Leave the back one, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
rooted as well.
Beautiful, he's
Right.
rooted. Great. So yeah, the question is, if you sell an item to an NPC vendor, can other players then buy that item off of the NPC vendor?
Yes, dumpster diving is a thing. It's already possible in game currently. So you can absolutely expect that. There will be some very slight restrictions when it comes to no drop items. For example, very, very, very top tier no drop exotic items. But on the whole, yes, you can expect to find one player's trash is another player's treasure.
Excellent. I made entire days of doing that in some old MMOs, so that is great news.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
This guy's resisting.
Nah, you
my
got it,
thought.
man. You do have it.
At this point moving forward, Ben, just let me know whenever you'd like a question from chat, and I will find one.
Sure.
I have a few ready whenever we are also ready, so just give the word.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do a couple VIP ones next for sure. All right, looking good. Got another group of those guys coming in from the right-hand side in just a second.
Okay.
And then after the stream, apparently I need to work on my FD skill.
Practice, practice, practice.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Zings,
3,
watch out.
2, 1. All right, we'll give him just a sec. Is there a hotkey for ranged attack?
No, there is not one currently.
Okay, cool. Okay, here's 2, but they're kind of split.
All right. Oh, look at that. That worked out.
Yeah, there we go. Great.
Same work.
Yeah, a question from our VIPs would be good if we've got time.
Yes. So, I've had a couple pertaining to the buffing that we were doing in the beginning. Mainly, I know last stream we were using some different buffs, as well as some kind of not normal stuff. The main question that I had relating to that is that, are we using any GM buffs right now, or is the mana regen just what we have with the classes that are in play? Like, are we all?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, so the only GM abilities that I'm using, or the GM powers I'm using, for example, is the buff group command, which right now is just the level appropriate cleric HPAC buff and AC secondary AC only buff combined, and that's to simulate having a cleric in the group. It's, you know, part of it is just for the Twitch stream to make this a little bit more showable. If, you know, I'm running as a shaman in the group, if we didn't have the cleric buffs, I'd be using Grip of the Crags, which is the shaman strength and stamina buff, and a shaman specific AC buff. But just to show a little bit more of what the power of the buffs are, the power of the cleric buffs in this case, we have those on. The current mana regen is the shaman specific mana regen that they currently have. Again, like I've said, these things sometimes we try things, sometimes we try to give a class a certain ability, see how it feels. We roll it back, we tweak it. So just as a general disclaimer, I'll say it probably several times throughout the stream. It would be best not to look at any one given aspect and say, well, that's how they're going to do it at launch, because that may just not be the case as we do further testing, especially as we move into alpha and beta, get more and more players in, keep a very close watch on those things. But those are really the only GM related abilities that I'm using. So as far as like the gameplay itself, we have cleric buffs on that are appropriate for the level. We've got the shaman's current mana regen, but this is combat in Pantheon. No GM powers assisting, except that I don't have a hotkey for my pet yet, so we're lacking a little bit of DPS.
Speaking of being buffed, could I grab a couple more?
Yeah, you died. You're empty now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Ko, have you taken a closer look at our canine companion since the last time you saw him?
No, I haven't. Ooh.
He
He
looking
looks
a
a
little
lot
pretty.
better, yeah.
Listen to it.
Oh, man.
Don't touch him. Joppa gets really upset if you try to pat him.
Yeah, apparently.
So I just wanted to take this this time to point out while you're checking out that pet. The reason why we're able to do that now is, as you may have seen in the news, we recently achieved our Series A funding. That's moving us into Series B. I just wanted to say that investment opportunities still are open, or if anybody is interested, you can contact us at invest@visionaryrealms.com.
Very good.
Cool.
Very good news for all of us.
All right, so I think this room is actually clear unless there's anything hiding behind this evil-looking dragon head in here. Oh, and speaking of which, there's some more cosmetic stuff in here. Awesome. This armor. Nice. All right, let me see here. Maybe some enemies back here. Oh, yep, at least one. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I got him.
I seem to hear something that doesn't sound like us.
Some commotion.
Yeah.
Quick note from chat, guys. We're not taking questions right now, but we will as soon as we have some downtime later on.
Oh.
Oof.
Ow.
Ooh.
Wow.
One shot me.
Wow, he was not happy with that at all.
No, he didn't like that. I'm gonna release and just start running my little self back.
Congrats to whoever that was.
Somebody level?
Yeah, sounded like it.
We gotta get Zinks up. Zoppa's
Yeah,
got it.
actually, there's a response, so if you wouldn't mind
Mm-hmm.
resing me, so I don't have to run by that.
Is it clear back there, Ko?
Yeah, we are all set.
We'll probably have time for one quick question as we get Zinks back up.
Oh, great. Okay, here we got to go in here from Anadak, and he says, will there be a loc or a similar system in-game to help, and I'm assuming he's saying to help people find each other and to help find locations. / LOC, I should say.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Perfect. Excellent. Well, that was an easy one. As a personal question to me, what class am I playing? I'm currently playing a monk, which is it's technically a pulling class, I guess, but I can off tank in a pinch and also do relatively decent melee DPS. Yeah.
I'm I'm assuming there's a res coming.
There is, yeah.
Okay, cool. Speaking of res, will you be able to line of sight res to return where you died? I'm not quite sure if they mean like if you can see it, but you're not close enough. And is there going to be an in-combat res, or will we be doing primarily out-of-combat, no emergency res type business?
There will be a few in-combat revive abilities, yes.
Okay.
To be determined who and what.
Very cool.
And Sierra, if you want to copy paste those questions into my chat, I
Oh,
can
yes.
pop them on the screen. Just for the
Alright.
moving forward. No problem.
Yep, sorry, I totally forgot about that.
No problem.
Give me 1 second.
Hey! Hell yeah, Havocs. I played on Vishan 2 before Saren. Back in the day when, you know, servers got so packed they had to split them and not the other way around.
Looks like our newest build introduced a little bit of a bug with the revive ability. So if you want to, which would accomplish kind of the same effect, if you want to type /go to corpse.
Okay.
So a quick question pertaining to corpses while we're here. Will you be able to summon corpses in-game via in-game mechanics?
Yep, you'll be able to drag your corpse within a limited distance from you. You'll be able to drag it, however far you want to drag it, certainly out of harm's way. And then there'll also be, at later levels, certain summon corpse type abilities for sure.
Cool.
Buffs as well when you get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're done with buffs there, let's head on upstairs.
Awesome, awesome. So this looks to be, an elevator? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Which color goes up and which goes down? Nobody knows.
It is a mystery.
We're going to put some elevator music in here too.
Yes.
Little known fact, that's how Joppa made his living prior to this. He
Designed
Would
Would
elevator.
hang out in elevators and hum music.
Created elevator music.
There's a little known fact. I didn't even know that.
Hey, look at this!
Ah,
Whoa, are there some new
I guess
models in
this
there?
is not a steakhouse.
It's a team of dwarves! Nice.
Look at that haircut.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
It is quite a haircut.
Alright, well, let's leave them.
Yep, let's just go take the bosses away from them instead.
Leapfrog and steal all their content.
Nothing wrong with that. They should have gotten there first.
Exactly. Quick enough. Oh, I love this.
Whoa, wait a second. These aren't aggro. Are they?
Well, they can't
No,
be,
they
just
aren't.
smack 'em.
Well, I don't
Would you like to
advise it.
demonstrate, Mac?
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you volunteering for this honor?
Now, this may be one of the most developed locations I've seen so far. There's a lot going on in here. What is this area?
So, the Reckless Magician is really a misnomer. The name of the of Sujatal, the guy in the summit of this tower. It really depends on how you view him. It's a name that's been given to him by those who fear him, or fear at least the consequences of what he's doing in this tower, or those who've been directly affected by his experimental use of ancient magic. But to others, he's viewed as a brilliant and pioneering wizard, and there are many who've traveled great distances to actually dwell here in his tower, both to aid him in his efforts, or to revel in his vast knowledge and resources. And so these gnomes, the CohhCarnage, are here for that latter reason. Sujatal is working to understand and master certain laws of magic that are in place on Terminus. And so he's invited a host of unique groups to the tower to aid him, as I said, and the CohhCarnage are no exception to that. Not all the groups, in other words, are hostile to outsiders. And these CohhCarnage, they're far more interested in acquiring knowledge through scholarship than through conflict. And so it's not that they're afraid of conflict. I would view their lack of aggression more as speaking to their confidence in battle, rather than their timidity. But they are here to study, they're here to learn, and and will generally leave us pretty well alone unless we decide to interrupt that.
All I
That's
see is a lot
probably
of
nucleus out
non-aggro
of the
loot.
sky.
But this would be a perfect example of a place where someone who is a keeper, someone who is advancing in the perception system, would be able to come here and learn a lot, progress a lot, gain a lot of knowledge to put into their tome of keeping. And there'll be places like this all around Terminus, hotspots of knowledge and lore. Really excited about this place in particular and places like it.
Yeah, this is really cool, and like every table looks different, has different things on it. Like this area looks lived in, which is huge for players like me. I look for areas like this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the plants and stuff on the walls too. That's great. How cool.
Oh,
Anyway,
all right.
I could probably be here for the rest of the day. So on that note, where should we be going?
If we go across here, we have some baddies waiting for us. Actually, it's kind of a cool view too if you look over the sledge here.
Hey, there's the other group. Hey guys.
Look at those puny mortals.
All right, looks like we have 2. I don't know if there's a patroller.
Okay, before you pull those, I just want to give you a heads up that I don't know if these guys are them or not, but any red guys, which I believe are called Gurkhas, are extremely difficult. So we only want to get one of those at a time.
10-4.
I think,
gonna try one
these
here?
we're safe here, but
Yeah, these are just sentinels.
Sentinels,
So
okay.
should be fine.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful of that ledge too, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was playing up here the other day, and I accidentally hit auto run, and it freaked me out. Luckily, the fence was there, so I didn't fall down. But
Looks all too easy though.
So before we get to the Gurkhas, any more questions, Ko, from you or your audience?
Oh, absolutely. We got 3 hours.
They don't have any.
So let's take a look here. What type, and again, when I ask these kinds of questions, please keep in mind that this is more of a planning to get in the game, not in the game right now. That's for the viewers. What type of guild mechanics and tools will we be seeing? And then on top of that, personally, are guilds going to be kind of a glorified chat room, or will they have more in-game mechanics associated with them? What are you guys planning on for that?
That's a great question. I mean, guilds are, in so many ways, part of the lifeblood of these games. And so I would say with confidence that what you've come to expect in modern MMOs when it comes to the basic foundational guild functionality, both in recruiting and managing and communication, you can expect to see in Pantheon. But because of the nature of what kind of game Pantheon is, its challenge, its difficulty, its world size, travel mechanics, other things, we'll be releasing more information as we go along when it comes to specific guild perks that can be attained for guilds, and just more the evolution of some of the baseline functionality as well. We want to make things as welcoming and as easy and convenient for guilds when it comes to the managing side, the communication side, the recruiting side as possible. So more information to come.
Great. Uh-oh. I think this is a caster.
Yeah. You want to talk about these?
Ouch!
Oh,
And he
great.
hurts!
Yep.
Oh, man.
You got interrupts. You have
Subadar?
interrupts, use them.
Use the
Oh, got it.
interrupt,
I think I
please,
do
while
actually
I'm
have a couple of
going
those.
to be a spot on the floor.
Mine are both down. Oh, here we go.
Okay, we will save our flurry punch for him casting.
Mine as well.
Here's another good one. And I have a feeling it's going to be the classic answer, but how will Pantheon handle camps? As in, and I'm assuming he means like loot and item camps.
How will we handle camps?
So I think in this case,
Yep.
I think in this
Go ahead.
case he's asking like, is it going to be kind of like some games where GMs and people will enforce people rotating, or can someone just set up a camp permanently and everything's cool with that? Like how are you guys handling or planning on doing anything about camps, or just letting the players kind of organically figure that out themselves?
Anytime we can let players organically figure things out for themselves, that's our preferred method. That's our preferred approach. We are building Pantheon in a way, as you can tell, from this stream, hopefully, where there's several locations within this little wing of this dungeon where a camp could be set up, or it also, accommodates more of a run through, especially if, you're trying to get to a certain spot in the camp. You're going to run through it, get there, and then likely set up camp. To the trainer downstairs that we fought at the very beginning. I mean, he may have something on him, some loot that you want to get, so you're going to set up your camp there and try to kill him as much as you can until you get that drop. Or like some of the guys we're about to get to in here, same thing. What players can expect through, for example, the disposition system, camps are not going to be a snooze fest. You're not going to be able to fight your way in and set up a camp and they just go on autopilot as you kill the same mobs. They do the same things for hours and hours and hours. The disposition system, one of the ways we're going to use it is there's always a chance that a mob could spawn with a certain disposition. And some of those dispositions may be extremely disruptive to your flow. So that's one way that we want to spice up the camping a little bit. Mob migration is another consideration. Migration just more in the small term sense. Mobs might dynamically change their paving patterns. It's not so much that, a mob is going to spawn in one place one day and then the next day it's going to spawn in a totally different place in the dungeon, but it may be that their pathing changes, their route changes. And so there's going to be little things that you have to be on your toes for, and we'll, say more about that too as that evolves. We get more players in and get some more data.
Very cool.
So we kind of scratched the surface, but I know more are coming. Can you tell us a little bit more about those casters?
I was about to ask something about that.
Oh, the casters are great, and it's just the very beginning of casting functionality. We have a really robust tool that we're using. We're just starting to use and kind of open up. We can give casters, whether they're damage dealing arcane casters, whether they're healing mobs, we can give them a real amazing depth of ability arsenal and intelligence with how and when they use those abilities. So right now, for example, these casters are targeting at random points throughout the fight. They can target a random group arcane to cast a certain spell, or they can target a random group melee to cast a root, or a random group healer to cast an interrupt. We can also set certain conditions. So if a player in the group gets below a certain amount of health, we can set up the casters to fire off a certain ability. It's not just casters. I mean, we can do this with melee NPCs as well. But it's really exciting. The casters right now, we're still tuning the NPC casters a little bit. We want you to be afraid of them.
Sounds good.
I'm afraid of them. The rest of you just kind of continue on. But
go ahead.
Speaking of, there's a little bit of a question regarding perception. Go ahead.
Sorry, Zinx, we're going to have to put on hold. We've got a couple of big guys here, but we'll get back to them shortly.
Really? Yeah, okay.
Okay, this is a Gurkha. Here it comes. Hopefully solo.
Me too.
Yep.
It looks good.
Now, if you guys watch my health, Mikhail's health, you'll see why we kind of need Joppa to be paying full attention, because I go down pretty quick on these.
I'm also trying to slow him.
Man, you aren't kidding. Oh my god.
While healing, so I'm gonna call out when I'm gonna go for the slow here. All right, slow attempt number one.
Whoa. Yeah, non-tanks tend to
just to be clear, this is designed this way, right? Like we are
Yep.
V level and have good gear for this area, and oh my god.
He hits like a truck, man.
Yeah, he
Better
does.
watch your ego.
Yeah, we were saying yesterday he hits like a truck that keeps backing up and slamming into you over and over again.
Exactly.
He is slow though. I mean, slow is a huge part of this run for a shaman. It's what makes running this as a shaman healer possible. And you'll see that on the Gurkhas. You'll see that on some of the upcoming NPCs as well.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing you're going to need to... either you're going to need a tank, 2 tanks, or you'll have to figure out something, some sort of kiting or
Stack some
something, because
healers.
you can't just tank and spank them as a rogue per se.
Oh, hey, Kilson. I don't know what swords you're using, but this guy has some pretty nice ones on him.
Oh, cool, eh?
Yeah, I'm noticing that
short
enemies seem to drop a lot of loot. Like each enemy tends to drop, you know, up to like 5 or 6 in some cases of not only items but also armors. Is that something you guys are wanting to kind of get a lot of loot out there, or are we going to see items
No.
be a little bit rarer?
No, you'll see them be much rarer, and in fact, the next time we show the game, that'll be shored up quite a bit more. We're in the process of changing a few things with our itemization, both design-wise, but then also the tools we're
Caster.
using. Yo.
Can I LOS these guys? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Yes,
you
you
there.
can. You can line of sight them if they've initiated a cast. They will complete their cast,
Okay.
but once they've completed their cast, they will come to you.
Perfect. So we will see items become rarer?
Items will become rare. Yes, it's a little bit of a loot pinata right now. We're aware of that, and it's gonna get tightened up quite a bit.
Great.
So, Zinx, we had a VIP question?
Yes, it was relating to these casters. Will perception, I think we touched on this a little bit last stream, will perception allow you to be able to detect certain dispositions with certain factions and things of that nature?
Depending on what type of keeper you are, there will be a specialization of keeper that will be able to discern NPC disposition. Yes.
Okay, very cool.
I was going to say that was a good time for questions because Co is rooted.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. That is right. All right, I gotta be honest here. There's a Gurkha and 2 casters, and it looks like they're all in social range. So it's been a pleasure playing with you guys.
Alright, I'm gonna just head back this way.
I'm gonna try to grab this Gurkha and LOS the casters and FD behind here, but
Okay.
it's gonna be a little tight.
That's a
What's
good
up,
idea.
Ben?
Let's all move. Let's
Scoot
all move
back.
back in here
Okay.
and
Scoot way back.
see if we
Give
can
him plenty of
get
room. Give him the whole balcony here to work with.
All right.
And Ion.
Scoot back a little bit, Brad.
Okay,
Scoot back
okay, got
all the
at
way to me.
least one. I'm gonna try to get the Gurkha right around the corner and go.
Nice.
Looks like you succeeded.
Can I tag him or?
There, I think you can, but there's a caster right around that wall, so you may need to be a little careful. Hold on 1 second if you want to be sure. Give me 1 second.
Oh no, I saw a move. I think we're good.
Yep. I think
Perfect.
You're good.
Perfect.
Nice.
Great. All right.
Good split, man.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, slow, please hit. Slow. No.
Land.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hello.
a question that I can actually answer. What's the difference between a wizard and enchanter? Enchanters are meant more for crowd control, and wizards are meant more for raw, huge magic damage.
Slow incoming. Slow attempt number 1.
Oh,
Landed.
dear.
And they
Got
both
it.
do a
Nice.
lot more than that.
Oh.
but yeah.
Yep, I'm down.
Zinx is
Oh.
down.
Sorry, Zinx.
Saw that coming.
Speaking of doing massive amounts of damage,
Yes.
yeah, sometimes they pull aggro, like you can see right there. You're playing a wizard, right, Zinx?
Yeah, all
Yep.
that raw magical power just can't be contained, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna release and wait till it's dead, and then I'll come back to you guys.
Oh, Brad.
Also, for anyone out there watching going, he's not even doing his rotation properly, I'm mostly reading chat, full disclosure, trying to keep up with you guys, so, yeah.
Is he down?
Almost,
No.
and he's
He's
down.
down.
Okay,
You can come back now.
thank you.
Isn't it part of a wizard's life to die anyway?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, it is.
Part of the job
sort
job description. Drop bombs and die.
Oh, you know, we have to be useful for something. You know, instead of stealing loot and training everybody and.
Hey, easy.
Joppa's medding for a bit. I guess we got time for a question.
Great.
Yep.
Another quick one. Oh, go ahead, please.
I was just going to elaborate on that last question. Is there any reason why someone wouldn't want to be that kind of keeper that will be able to detect dispositions?
Well, that would be our job, is to try to make sure that however many different specializations there are, that the player would be incentivized to pursue any of them. So while that's a pretty high profile distinction right now, you know, say the keeper that specializes in insight, may be able to perceive certain dispositions, but you can trust that there will be incentives for the keeper that specializes in investigation equally as valuable and desirable.
Great.
I'm
That covers it.
I'm a little bit concerned about respawn. Are we clear to move up there now, Co?
We have the 2 casters on the left-hand side we're going to have to deal with, but I think that's about it. We could probably move up to about here, I think.
Okay, cool.
We can keep going. I have a quick question while we're setting up here. Is there going to be a map system in the game? I see a map icon under the compass, and as an addendum for myself, how deep are you guys planning on taking that map system?
How deep do we plan on taking the map system?
About 3 feet.
Yes, as deep as we need to really facilitate and support the game. Our community and our team, actually, we're not into mini maps, and we really want to push exploration in the game and really have it be fun to have something sneak up on you or not know what's around the corner. So radars and such, we're not really big on. That said, we're making a vast, epic fantasy world, and it may come to the point where through alpha and beta we realize that we need to facilitate navigation to some degree. So I'm going to leave that out there as a not set in stone. We'll find out and make those decisions when we're in alpha and beta and have more of the world in place and get the feedback from the players.
Resisted that. Ooh.
Yeah, these guys hurt.
That. I'm just glad we haven't had him actually hit me yet.
Just to add to the map thing, you'll probably be able to, love for you to be able to make your own kind of marks, your own, draw in, scratch in, rough in your own points of interest on the map. I personally like interactive maps like that where you can make your own notes. Oh,
very cool.
There he
Sorry,
finally did it.
And it's also really up to the players too. We know there's going to be players out there mapping the world, putting up websites, and if the player wants to go to that website and take advantage of that, that's fine. If they feel that they want to adventure it themselves and explore themselves and not take advantage of those websites that the community makes, more power to them either way. So a lot of it has to do with the community and how the community responds to navigating and mapping and and sharing that information.
Excellent.
So since we just finally saw that disposition for these casters, do you want to explain that a little bit, Chris? Since I don't think we've seen it until it just happened.
Oh, you mean the targeting the random group member? Yeah, so that was a perfect example where had I been paying a little bit more attention, I probably would have wanted to cast a hot on Zinx as that mob was engaged, because I know I'm learning that this particular caster has a chance to cast a nuke powerful enough to one-shot Zinx in this case. And so I want to be on top of that. As a cleric, for example, I might want to throw an absorb shield on her before combat begins and keep that up. But we like that idea. Sometimes we'll put things in like, hey, what if the caster had a chance to randomly nuke a group arcane, and we try it and we see the group arcane is getting one-shotted, and there's that part of us that's like, well, maybe that's a little too much. And maybe it is, but I tend, when it comes to design, I tend to favor leaving things hard, leaving things intense like this, and then working through strategies. Is it possible for players to find ways to circumvent this, rather than just nerfing something that at first seems, maybe too much. So yeah, that's what you saw just then, and like anything combat related, we'll be, revisiting it as we go along.
Great. Also, is this a boss I see over here on the left?
It is.
Cool.
Is he clear? Is he alone right now?
I think he might be, unless there's ads in the room. No, I think he's clear. Yeah.
Great. All right, let's go home then.
All done. Well, guys, that's been the stream from Pantheon this week. Oh, a quick yes or no for you guys real quick while we're doing this. Will you be able to equip pets with equipment?
To a degree, yes. Pets will be able to equip certain items. You won't be able to put, swords on a wolf, but there'll be certain items you can equip on different kinds of pets. Absolutely.
Is
Is he not aggro?
Nope.
There's a wild
Nope.
red Gurkha down there too. Just careful when you come out.
Yes. Yeah.
If you con him, you'll see that he's not KOS.
Oh yeah, he regards you differently. Looks quite dangerous though. Oh lord.
So we the strat we're going to use the same strat bin that we've been using in
Sure.
some of the rehearsals. I'm going to put a hot on Ben, our tank, and his cue to engage is the landing of the hot. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're ready.
I'm going to
Need to
try
be
to be
interrupting
slowing
anything
as
in
soon as
particular?
possible.
Okay.
He took a whack of.
Here we go.
Alpha.
It's slow. So landed.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm going down. Oh, saved.
And he doesn't like anything that I'm doing.
Yep, resisting me all over the place.
And I saw someone earlier in chat ask if you can play in first person, and I hope this answers your question.
I love first-person players because I'm one myself.
Oh,
Sometimes I
hear you
have
there.
to scroll out, I find, but in any game.
Third person wall checking too strong.
Ah,
Oh,
Oh god, no, Ziggs!
I made it.
Nice! There we go.
That was a little too close for my comfort. It's a lot. I don't know why he was just more intimidating up close than the other mobs, but it just.
It's
When you
hard.
filled my
Wow.
screen, it was just, oh my god.
Nice. I didn't know you could just drag around UI elements. That's super handy. So, another quick one while we're finishing up this fight here. Are players ever going to be able to mark targets visually for other players in the group? So, say if this guy had two ads and they were identical looking and named, would I be able
Yes.
to mark one as root this one or mez this one?
Yes. Yep.
Great. Perfect.
Between this fight and the next few, I also need Walk of the Ages again. And that would be appreciated.
Yes.
All right, so Joppa's medding, but I think if you take a look, there's some monk weaponry on there.
Oh, really? Oh, my. Oh, not quite as good as I have, unfortunately. Oh, wait, one of them might be. Hold on.
So while you are examining that, I have a question regarding resists, since we were just talking about it in that fight. Will there be resist ranges on some mobs, like the further away or closer you are, the more or less you are resisted? Anything that might impact resist aside from just level, basically?
Well, so yeah, the fundamentally level and gear and innate resistances are the three factors right now. So this guy, we're level 28. The boss we just killed is level 30. So he has, because of his being 2 levels above, he has heightened resistances compared to our level. He also has his innate resistance setting as an archive of this type. And then whatever gear he may have on him as well. Even as an NPC, the gear that the NPCs have will affect their statistics. But then beyond that, you get into the way you're able to manipulate abilities through, or resistances through abilities, of course, debuffs and the like, certain climates, certain atmospheres, and not just even necessarily something like we showed in Amber Fate in Stream 1 kind of climate, but even just the altitude, for example, of this place may play a role into certain resistances. So yes, resistances will be probably more dynamic than you would expect, with a few more ingredients playing a role.
Very cool.
Very
So
cool.
this next room, as you can see, has a room
Careful,
full of
there's-
Gurkhas.
Yeah, there's a Gurk on the left there. I think we can leave that, though. I'm going to go ahead and start trying to pull these out here. I think we're going to be able to solo these dudes. Yeah, there we go.
So on that same vein, will there be, will you be able to debuff some resistances off of mobs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's actually what we're doing right now.
That's what I figured.
Oh,
Dear.
down. She's down.
Uh-oh.
Aaron will.
All right, who's taking off tank? Aradun? Okay.
Zinx, I just saw your question in chat. We are good moving forward. Thank you for that.
Very good.
All right, slow incoming. He's slowed. Man, I've been getting great rolls with slow today.
Yeah, nice.
It's not typical. That's a great example of the kind of difference slow will make in a fight. It's much more managed now, not as manic. I'm able to heal at a much more, still elevated, but a much more comfortable clip.
Small side note, are there any plans to make it so if we mouse over a new item, it will show us our currently equipped item next to it? Like a tooltip check?
Yeah, for sure.
Like a
That's
compare.
slated as kind of a quality of life thing that we'll have.
Yeah,
come
perfect.
I just got that question too, so. Perfect.
Awesome,
Yep.
great.
What's that, like an item compare?
Yeah, item compare. You got it. Here's probably,
Done him.
we need to root this dude. If he goes in that other room, we are,
I don't have root memorized right
Oh
now.
no, here we go.
Oh no.
Oh, this is gonna be trouble.
Oh, we're
Quick,
gonna get
everyone,
another
FD. Oh, wait.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
All right, incoming. We got one more, so I think we're okay if we can take this guy down. We can probably fight him right here.
Yeah, I've probably got plenty of mana.
I've mezzed him if you don't touch. Oh, never mind.
Oh, or I'll
Don't
just
touch
screw
him.
that
Don't
up.
touch him.
Not touching him.
Oh.
Oh, wait, now the Mezzer's dead, right?
And
Yep.
Well, hello. It's nice of you to join us down here, Kilson.
Achievement unlocked.
Going?
Streamer wiped the
Well,
group.
when you see
Right.
the healer at the res spot or at the respawn
Yeah.
point, you know it's not good for the rest of the group.
Exactly.
This near.
And one more, and of course.
He put up a valiant fight, but
I'm going to hang up here with
Yes.
this mob as he attempts to half dab from the looks of
Well,
it.
I'm glad we got our obligatory total wipe in. I don't know.
Exactly.
It feels, yeah. We were hoping for that to happen.
Oh,
we were trying
back.
to not let it happen, but want to at least happen once. So,
I'm just going to go.
Show
hang
all the
over here.
danger.
yeah.
Since
The
it
Gurkha
definitely
victory
happens
dance.
when we're definitely not streaming.
Yeah. And certainly when we're answering questions, the chance of mistakes goes way up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use my GM powers here to zoom back up there, and we can all just go to corpse.
Okay.
So, for anyone
Careful,
watching
this-
and unfamiliar with these types of games, right now we're resetting quickly. But if this were live, what you just saw would then become our new, this is what we're doing. We'd have to fight back up here. We'd have to loot our corpse. We'd have to figure out how to get our corpse. It becomes a much larger, more involved thing than what you're seeing right here. But it's a big part of the game. And honestly, back in the days where we used to do this kind of stuff, some of the best stories came from corpse retrievals.
and that's just it. And that's what we mean when we say that we're an intensely social game. Is you're going to want to make friends. You're going to want to have people that can help you out.
You're going to
Yeah, I
want to
think
know
one
a
po-
good rogue
one
who can
important
corpse
point,
drag.
Too is one important point is, if one or two people go down in your party, reviving them, getting them back into the game so that you're not sitting there waiting forever. It's important. We want groups to keep moving along. But if you get a complete wipe, like Ko was saying, it almost becomes a metagame right in and of itself, where you've got to stop and regather, and it's a bit of a reset at that point for a total wipe. So that's a big distinction there. One or two people go down, hey, let's revive, let's get back into the game, let's keep moving through the dungeon. But if there's a wipe, well, then you pay the penalty.
We are
So
going
how-
to have some corpse related abilities, are we not?
Yes.
So how many mobs are left in there, Ko?
We've got the one outside on the left. Then in the actual room, we have what looks to be another boss. One Gurkha and a Subudar that I can see. There may be one or two hidden behind these pillars, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull out this. How do I? Subudar?
Subudar, yep.
Subudar. Okay, great.
Yes.
We got a we got a repot wizard to the right. Careful.
Oh Lord. Okay, this may be trouble then.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the other guy pathed out, so we're okay. We're okay.
Oh, okay.
He pathed out.
I like it.
I just saw it passing. I
when,
thought it was
when
the other
Ben's
guy.
like,
This might be bad.
Yeah, I saw that ice cast, and I thought, oh man, we aggroed the other. But no.
All right, so I'm keeping heals on Zinks.
Thank you.
Just trying to anticipate that.
Yep. Yeah, he just nuked me. Okay, I'll nuke him back.
Nice. Can we
Yeah,
move into that room now and fight that last guy there? I'm a little worried about respawns.
We probably could. That is the boss. Hold on, let me check
Wait,
the boss.
hey,
We
different.
have the path on the right there.
Yep,
Looks
we got the wizard on the right.
particularly-
on your right.
He may actually stop where he is, though. So if we go right into the room, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So right in here, let's fight him, like, right here. I don't think the Gurkha outside the wall will aggro.
The boss isn't social, is he?
No. Dev question. Does prox aggro work through walls right now? I know it won't eventually.
It
most
does not
likely.
work through walls. It should not work through walls right now.
Oh,
And
great.
it does not,
Okay.
not work through the glass, too, currently, correct? Because that
Yep.
counts as a wall.
actually,
All right, Gurkha's in.
we actually just fixed that, I think.
Very cool.
All right,
I
guys,
think-
In between streams, we did a flurry of tweaks and fixes. So.
try to land a slow here.
Trying to land a taunt here.
Oh, slow resisted, and he's angry.
Oh, golly,
So-
come on.
Uh-oh.
He's
I'm going to wait
really
to ask this
angry.
next question.
He's rooted if you need to move, Chris.
Thanks.
Oh, no!
All right, going for the slow again.
Thanks for taking one for the team, Brad.
Yeah, well,
He's
it
slow.
was really actually it was for you, Ben, personally.
I appreciate it. I'll remember you at
Beneficial.
Christmas.
4 wizards.
Oh. Help.
Just slow land, Chris.
Yep, it's on.
That's
Doesn't seem like it.
Oh.
Oh,
No, he's still hitting hard.
Oh, gosh.
All right, we need our monk off tank.
All right, I'm taunting. Here we go. Let's do it. Every defensive passive I got's going on.
He's running.
Oh, there we
Okay,
go.
okay.
Nice.
Good job,
awesome.
guys.
And we're playing ring around this tree.
Don't aggro
I-
the wizard over here.
Yeah. Finally had a chance to
Ooh.
pop on my awesome defensive cooldowns.
All right, let's come back to the wall because there's a wizard that walks around on the balcony.
Oh, I think we already
Yep.
got him. Yep.
Oh, we
got
did?
him.
Nice.
Mhm.
Perfect.
He's down.
Also, it's
So-
boss.
Quick side question, real quick, because this is going to actually affect my playing here. Is there any type of reason to be on the enemy's side or rear? Is there any positional
Yes.
stuff I need to worry about? And if so, what is it?
Well, currently, NPCs cannot use their defensive avoidance passives from the rear. So you're not going to get a block, you're not going to get a parry, and you're not going to get a riposte from behind. You can still get a dodge, and of course you can still miss. But
So
it would
DPS
behoove,
on the butt. Got it.
it would behoove to be behind kind of that rear cone, that rear 180 degree.
And I think it's
Cone.
safe to say too, you know, when Chris was talking about the combat, this being a strong foundation and us building, you know, making it more intricate and positioning is going to be more and more of a big deal. Not just in fighting and if you're a caster or a melee, whatever,
A maggroed wizard.
Yep.
your position is going to matter. Lots more AoEs, things like that. It's not just going to be standing there.
We got a
Oh,
Gurkha.
add a Gurkha, add a Gurkha.
Oh boy.
This might be a trouble.
Gurkha's
Man,
dead.
pretty
Gurkha
quick
is-
respawns here.
Rooted.
Not
Chris
messing
is
around.
rooted.
Pulling it back, pulling it
Move
back.
away from the Gurkha.
Yep.
Thank you.
He can't attack.
Stand away from.
We gotta
the-
burn this guy.
It's another
Oh,
Gurkha.
great.
We somehow just got the other one from the other side.
Well, this might be a little trouble.
Yep, I think we just...
If we can keep the other one, never mind. Looking for a light at the end of the tunnel. There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
No, there's not.
Unless he
Just
pats
go
out magically. Hold on.
He's out of here.
Victory,
Go to
sort of,
TikTok.
a little bit.
I sense that there are some people without aggro on.
No.
Is that me? Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so
Just a guess?
speaking of GM cheating. Then,
Oh, that,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and assume
Yeah,
that
well.
wasn't me when it was. So, let's just, yeah.
That was my
Oh.
special rogue stealth.
little bit of cheat. A little bit of cheat.
All right, incoming next one.
Yep.
Oh.
It's the last one, though. If we can get this guy down, we're good. Or
Whoa.
that. I'm going to try to taunt him, but don't have any
Alright.
tricks left.
It's also rooted, so if you start getting aggro and you can't take it, just
Man,
It's a
these
little
guys
map.
are
I don't take
tanks.
aggro well, so thank you.
I don't have my corpse.
Whoa, man, that guy
I can't.
he does hit like a truck.
All right, I'm almost dead. Up, I'm super dead. Go jump off the balcony, you'll be fine. Well, we were earlier, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm still dead. Super dead.
Oh.
And,
Uh-oh.
whoa,
Oh,
what the heck?
and there come like two of his buddies. All right,
I'm out of here.
good to release.
Let's release.
Cool.
Let's just aggro off. Go to corpse. Reset.
Just go to Space Corpse.
Just go to corpse. All one
Oh,
word.
one word.
Oh. Neat trick. We're going to get that in live too, right?
Mm.
Of course, sure.
Special streamer privilege, maybe? No?
I think somebody ran and jumped off the balcony to get away there. Was that Kilson?
Probably children.
Hoping no one noticed.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have, except for the long line of Gurkhas
I have this
leading to the
picture. I have
balcony.
this picture of Ben in a flaming house jumping out the window, 3 stories.
I regret nothing.
As
So the balcony's
rogue
clear?
version of evac.
Let's move to the balcony.
Balcony. What a lovely view.
We'll reset here.
Let's just hope there's no strong winds.
Everybody aggro back on.
Can I also get
Mhm.
Walk of the Ages when you have a moment?
Will the
Results?
max camera distance of third-person view be reduced? Well, I'm at max right now. It's not super long.
No plans to reduce it currently.
Yeah. Oh!
Was
People are
you-
just jumping off the
Arden,
side
push me.
here.
In the chat, Arden, push me.
Sure.
Sorry, Kilson. We have that on video, buddy.
We have all the evidence.
It won't work this time.
At least he's not snaring you.
Yeah.
Graviton, did I play Vanguard? Actually, my namesake CohhCarnage comes from that game. Yes. Oh, yes. I played all the old school MMOs. That's why I'm so excited for this one. No, idiot. He definitely died when he jumped off. Yeah, that will... Unless you somehow magically have safe fall, that fall will kill you. Yes.
Yeah.
And Chris,
Even
I
with
don't
safe
know,
fall, that fall will
safe
kill
fall's not going to work at this elevation, is it?
you. No.
It's not
It's
quite
just-
that.
You're
safe.
gonna need some pretty fancy
Yeah.
parachutes
Especially-
and
I especially turned on my my GM hack Immortal to do that when Brad pushed me just to show it off. But yeah, you'd definitely
When
die
Brad
from
pushed you, yeah.
Right.
that. It's
He
in
did it.
chat. I'm gonna
it is
screenshot
there.
it.
I do see it.
Yep.
We
I
may
still
even
refuse to acknowledge
I
it.
haven't poisoned you yet.
Screenshot.
Good.
we would love to even get something like velocity in, where the longer you fall past a certain distance, the faster you go. So that final crunch from this height would be
Crunchy.
would not be survivable.
Would be crunchy.
Quite
Yes.
crunchy.
Bones splintering. I
But
should
you can
be
just
able to
imagine
hold
the
on to my
sound.
familiar.
The sound effect of the wind, whipping and whistling past you, getting louder and louder as you're falling, and
And your bones crackling
be
upon
quite
impact.
crunchy at the bottom. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What is the terminal velocity on a wood elf anyway?
An unladen wood elf.
And
I do
unrelated,
think
exactly.
that my little dragon, though, I should be able to grab onto my purse dragon and just
Oh,
cruise down.
that's wishful thinking.
I
Chat,
know.
just to be
Alright,
totally
so
clear,
do
if
this
I could
quick.
push people, all of these people would be on the ground right now. Just you can't do that quite yet.
So before we get respawns in here, this will be the same sort of thing. I know that this guy's tougher than the last guy, the last boss as well. So as soon as hot hits, I'm
This
gonna.
guy we're gonna show you, I think, right?
Yeah.
Stay away from the entrance to this room as well, just so you don't
Aggro.
attract any friends from outside. Ben, we're gonna go on hot.
Yeah,
Right?
guys, I'm going to taunt him, but then I'm going to spin him around, so you'll be able to fight in this room, and I'll be out in the balcony.
Great.
Could you, Ben, move a little bit closer to me so that just move to max distance for taunt, which will give me a little
okay.
bit of time to debuff him before he
Oh,
engages.
good idea. Okay. All right. So let's do that then. I'll pull him over here.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go on hot.
Please.
Setting up slow. Slow incoming. It landed.
Nice.
Goodness.
Awesome.
Wow, man. You're like 4 from 4 from slows, aren't you?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Nope. Whoa.
Oh.
Chaos.
That's slow aggro, man.
It's
Yep.
strong.
He knows it.
He's not a fan.
Slow and healing is a nice combination.
Well, I would think if you were an archive monk, slow would irritate you the most.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ah.
There's that patented zinc aggro.
Aggro wipe coming up.
Hey guys,
Oh,
Yeah.
I appreciate
Oh, yeah.
the awesome questions in chat, but we're holding on that right now. So wait, this guy aggro wipes?
No. I mean, Zinx's Wizard Death is a full aggro wipe.
Oh,
The manual aggro wipe.
hey now.
Oh, did you see that dog whimper?
He's hurting dog, yeah.
Yeah, he-
Don't hurt my
he's gone
dog.
for Ganobti. I'm not even gonna try.
Classic name right
Very
there.
fitting name for a
That's
wolf.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
If it's a bunch of consonants and vowels just jammed together, you know you're going the right direction with the name. Get in the Gabaltikadur.
Somebody better, yeah.
I always really liked Zoner personally.
Nice
That
job.
was a good one.
My favorite's always Gabobber.
Bobber.
Gabobber.
I like the one
Goner and
similar to that one. It was
Zoner.
like Gabotnik or something. It had like a
Gabotnik,
TIK in there
Gabotnik.
somewhere. Yeah.
So I think you'll find a complimentary fist on there.
Oh,
To go
oh
with the
my.
ma-
Our thank you to you.
Ooh, why? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take both of them.
Oh, I've
I've
got
got
it.
Oh Lord!
Just pissed off a caster.
Resist
He's
it.
like, that's my. Oh.
Oh,
Ah, crap.
okay.
Yeah.
Don't touch. Don't touch.
Oh, those are
I
nice.
just got-
Don't touch
Who
the
should we
Gurkha.
get- Should be on now.
I'm gonna
Don't
lower
touch the
something.
wild red
Don't touch
Gurkha.
the Gurkha.
No touching the Gurkha.
Burning down the mage? Yeah.
Yep. He's looking
Thinks
at
it's
me.
gonna die.
Oh, yep,
I knew
I
that was
saw
coming
it.
right at you. right at the last second.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh.
Here.
Hey!
Gurkha incoming!
there you go. It's landed.
Hold on, release. I can see what kind of carnage ensues.
Oh, hit.
Oh, yeah, leave the Gurkha alone.
That's the Gurkha.
Aradune says, no, no, no.
He's messed
Well,
again.
he's gonna have to now.
Okay, I should have. Chris had a panel, but I was trying to help. But
There you go.
We got a runner. Subadar's running. Oh, well, thankfully the
He's
wrong
going
way.
out
Woo.
for
He's going over the side! He can't take it anymore!
Going for
He's
the
using
edge.
Kilson's tactic.
Kilson,
No,
push
like I
him!
did earlier.
All right,
Get
let's
overboard.
keep this guy ice. As I say, as I wake him up.
Okay.
Oh,
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's
Okay, guys, whatever you do, don't. Oh.
I just did.
Good luck, Mac. I'll be here on the ground FD if you need me. Just
Well,
give me the. Just yell if you know. I'm not gonna do anything.
well,
Right
you
side.
got the game, right? You know, that's.
the bright side,
We
got
killed the
Nate.
boss and got the loot, and I'm FD. The monk's job is done.
But yeah, it just goes to show, even after you kill a boss, the fight ain't over, you know? You gotta keep on your toes.
Don't train Choppa. I'm trying not to train you, Choppa. But I failed miserably.
Oh.
And just trained Brad. Hey! I think that was on my bucket list at some point, to train Brad McQuaid. I think we're good. Yes!
well, I hope that was gratifying.
Let's head back to
great.
Nexus Zone just for Nexus.
Oh, go to Nexus lowercase.
/cord
Cord.
Nexus.
Oh, cord.
If you guys want to head to your corpse with Agaroth and retrieve your stuff, and then you can head back here.
Great.
Or like Ben, you can just
Well, I'm.
leave your stuff behind. And,
I've got nothing to be ashamed of. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Been working out, man.
All right.
He's just enjoying
I loved it. I'm glad we got a little bit of chaos there at the end. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is a very fun area.
So we've got a couple minutes left. Maybe another 5 minutes of questions and wrap it up.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Do we want to start with some VIPs or pull some from chat?
Sure.
Yeah, let me get a couple good ones here. Will we see any benefit to deity options? Like if a pally has 3 options of gods to follow, will he or she get certain skills unique to their chosen deity? Do we have any mechanics planned for, religious beliefs, I suppose? Maybe.
not really much to say right now as far as benefits specifically. The choice of deity will affect gameplay when it comes to things like your character's alignment, faction, of course, as well. But nothing super beyond that right at the moment.
Okay, that's a good one. You want to go ahead, Co?
Absolutely, yeah. We can just go back and forth. That'd be great. Let's see. Wow, we have so many good questions right now. This is kind of nuts. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's a quick one. What level will we get res for some classes, and what kind of cooldown timers do you think there will be? That may be a little bit specific, but if you guys have any info on that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to answer that as far
Okay.
as level and cooldown just yet. I think what we said earlier is the key right now, that there will be a handful of classes that have the revive ability in their own distinct flavor. Some of those will be more potent than others. Some of them will have, different tertiary effects or after effects than others. So they'll have their own unique spin on them, but there will be a handful of classes that will be able to revive.
Great. Excellent. A quick follow-up here, not directly related, but with no auction houses planned, what type of systems will you guys have in play for player trading and selling items for crafters and stuff like that?
Well, actually, there will be auction houses.
Oh, great. Okay.
But some points or notes to that. They don't involve real money. It's all in-game currency, platinum, gold, and such. And most likely they will be local, not global. So you would be traveling around and participating in these merchants or bazaars or what have you, and you'd be rewarded for exploring. Hopefully the farther out you go, the more interesting the items that people would be selling, and being regionally where you are in the world could actually affect, based on supply and demand, the demand and the price for that item. So local and only involving in-game currency.
Very cool. Very cool.
And trading, we may, this could be a post-launch, not sure, we may allow you to set up your own merchants and things like that in the future, but certainly at launch you'll be able to trade with each other directly, so you don't have to do everything through the auction house. That's optional.
Excellent. Want to grab one, Sierra?
Yeah, so I have a question regarding becoming a keeper. Do we have any information on how one starts that process? Is it sort of just organic as you start to see things? Or is there something that will be in-game that sort of leads you to that discovery of the perception system and that sort of thing?
It's a great question. And I think in the not-so-distant future, we'll actually be able to show off some of this. But your introduction to the perception system will be as a fledgling keeper. You'll have I tend to think of it somewhat as like a Jedi Master Padawan relationship, where you will have someone very wise, very old, and well acquainted with the aspects of perception, who will kind of be your mentor through the beginning of the system, teaching you how to notice things. That's where you'll acquire your initial skills for perception, and then you'll be able to go and put them to use through various small tasks and little quests around the area where that mentor is in a starting city, let's say. And you'll be finding these kind of mentors throughout the game world, and some of them will be like, for example, the CohhCarnage area in the tower we just went to. It could be that there's a gnome in that little library that at a certain level of your perception advancement, you have to travel to this tower and speak to him, and only when you do that can you progress, as an insight specialized keeper, or as an investigate specialized keeper. So that's a little snippet, a little snapshot into the beginnings of it and how you'll learn it. It'll be somewhat of a tutorialized system, very much want it to feel natural and kind of immersive, and then you'll do a lot of traveling and exploring to find other mentors throughout the game.
Awesome. Excellent.
Very cool.
Got one more here, and this may be a short one. Will you always be able to walk through PCs and NPCs like we can now? Or is that going to be something that changes on release? Will collision be a thing?
Yeah, we wrestled with that one.
Yeah, we have wrestled with it. The issue there is, especially with collision between player characters, is griefing and blocking off doorways and passages, and so traditionally, a lot of MMOs you turn that collision off. We'll mess with it. I don't like it because it feels artificial, but then sometimes there are some necessary evils. In terms of NPCs, that's more likely. We'll mess around with that as well, because if the NPC griefs you, he's actually doing his job, unlike a player. So that's where that stands right now.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of thinks collision is a little bit jarring, and then an ogre sits in front of the bank door for 2 hours.
Yeah. And, and there are certain things that where GMs will have to get involved, but we don't want it to be like a police state with GMs running around all over the place. If there's something functionally we can put in that's just flat out stops, like you said, an ogre blocking the bank, we may have to do that.
Nice.
I think we've got time for one more question, and I think we'll have to wrap it up.
Cool. Sierra, want to take it? Or I can too, whatever.
We've lost her.
Oh no! All right, here's a quick one.
Go ahead. Sorry,
Can you de-level when losing experience from dying? And
I had that one.
Oh, you got that one? Perfect. Well,
I was about to ask that.
Oh, nice.
So our as we've said before, the death penalty mechanics are not finalized. They won't be finalized until likely beta. But I can pretty much say most likely not. There may be some experience debt, but losing a level pretty much sucks. And then you have to calculate, did I lose some skills and can I still use this item as effectively? So probably not, but still not going to set the exact specific death penalty mechanics in stone at this point. Too early.
Great.
Well, thanks, guys. Just wanted to say that from all of us here at Visionary Realms, thanks for having us. And just a reminder that upon completion of Series A funding, we are posting some job openings later this week. So keep an eye out on visionaryrealms.com. If you'd like to learn more about our investment opportunities, we can email us at invest@visionaryrealms.com. And if you'd like to support development in other ways, there are lots of pledge options available on pantheonmmo.com/join. Our pledges come in multiple tiers with goodies like early access all the way up to joining design sessions with the dev team, and that's pretty cool.
And so just a real quick note there on in terms of investing in the company, you do need to be an accredited investor. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Great.
And from all of us, thanks for having us.
Yes.
Oh, well, as always, big thank you, Brad, Ben, Chris, and Sierra. It has been more than a pleasure. And as always, thank you guys very much for your time. Awesome.
Thank you
Awesome.
very
Great
much.
being
guys.
here, guys.
Take care. Have
Appreciate it.
fun.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Awesome, dudes. Well, that is going to wrap up everything for this Pantheon dev stream. I really hope you guys enjoyed the show. We got a lot of new information today. Checked out a new level, and hopefully at some point in the future, would love to see a lot more. Because frankly, every time we stream this, find out a wealth of new information about this title, and I think I speak for a lot of us when I say ready to dive in, ready to get lost in another MMO, and this very well could be one of them. So anyway, guys, again, thank you all so much for being here, and we will see you guys next time on this channel, or maybe in other streamers on Twitch, as we explore more of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Find more information at pantheonmmo.com. I'm out of here. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.